All right, let's get started here. Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Sun with AVer Information, and whether you're a first-time viewer or a returning viewer, I want to thank you for taking your time and coming out and checking out our panel. And I know this webinar series has been going on for quite some time, and today's topic will be going over Sphere2 software, our premium Sphere2 software that's preloaded with every single one of our panels. And it's the application that gives you that AVer document camera integration. So this is the app you'll use to be connecting all your wireless AVer document cameras so that you can interact with them with the panel. So in today's webinar, I'll be first going over like the initial setup and just show you guys how easy it actually is to set up the wireless document camera with the panel. And then I'll be kind of diving into Sphere2 and kind of the different things and tools you could do with it. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, this is a very interactive webinar where if you have any questions, you can go ahead and type out in the live chat. I'll go ahead and answer those questions that you have. So we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into it. If you have a panel, feel free to go ahead and follow along. If not, just enjoy the show and just, enjoy it. But here I have a 75-inch AVer CP Series interactive flat panel. And the very first step that we want to do after we turn the panel on and we go into the Android OS is actually connect the panel to the same network that you want the camera to be on. So our wireless document camera acts like an IP camera where it has its own unique IP address. And so in order for this to work, both the panel and the document camera need to be connected to the same exact network. It's okay just if it's on different subnets, as long as it's on the same network. It'll be able to detect each other and see each other to communicate. So obviously the very easiest thing to do to connect the panel to the internet is use a landline, which I always recommend. So using a standard RJ45 cable and just plugging into the back. Or we also have the included Wi-Fi dongle that we give in our shipments. So right now I have Ethernet connected, but if you're using the Wi-Fi dongle, make sure you plug it into the USB port of the Android OS, not the pass-through port. So you want to make sure you plug that into either the back or the front right here. So it's going to be actually this port right here in the middle, media USB. Remember the PC USB port, that's the pass-through to the computer installed in the back, the optional computer. Well, one common thing that you need to remember after you plug in the Wi-Fi dongle is to actually enable the Wi-Fi. It's a common problem that we kind of run into. So to enable it, just tap on the Wi-Fi and tap on this and make sure you select on, because that's a really important step. Otherwise, if it's left on off, even when the Wi-Fi dongle is in, you won't be able to see the other networks on the scans. So I'm going to just use Ethernet cable because that's the easiest and that's what I have. But if you're using Wi-Fi, go ahead and select Wi-Fi, and then you just select your SSID. So if I turn this one on, and then it'll start scanning for all my networks. And then it's just like connecting any device to your wireless network. Very simple. Just select on your SSID, enter your password, and that's it. So first step is getting the panel connected. Now the second step would be to get your F70W connected to the network. And that's actually quite easy as well. So I got my F70 dock cam here, and now we want to connect it to the same network. So what you need to do is have one HDMI cable. So that's the cable you need, because this is the initial setup we're going to do. And you want to make sure you plug it into the HDMI out port of the F70W. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in the HDMI out. And now we're going to plug this into the panel. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the front HDMI port, which is HDMI 0. And now we're going to change the source to the F70W. So I'm going to go to my source button and go to this one, which is HDMI 0. And remember, you can either change sources using these left and right arrows on the IFP, by pressing this source button right here on the toolbar for Android, or by using the included remote, you can change the source like that very easily. So I'm going to go to HDMI 0, my front port, and it's going to go and view my F70W that I have located here. So right now I'm actually wired. So this is a wired connection from my S70W to my IFP, my CP series. But I want to connect this wirelessly to my network. So the first thing you want to do on the S70W is actually start pressing the buttons, using the buttons on the camera itself or on the included remote. I want to press menu. So menu will bring up this menu over here. And I'm going to go ahead and change the view so you can kind of see a little better here. So this is where you're going to be changing the settings of the S70W and connecting it to your network. So I'm going to go ahead and there you go. Hope you can see on the screen my controls as well. Gonna go right twice or 3 times, and I want to go to this one right here, this tab. That's our Wi-Fi. So you want to make sure you enable Wi-Fi first by pressing that Wi-Fi button on your camera. So it's this one right here, that Wi-Fi, and make sure this this light right here is blinking orange or is on. So that's how you enable the Wi-Fi first, and then you want to go to Wi-Fi setup and press the middle button to enter. So enter Wi-Fi setup. Now it's going to ask for an SSID. So you're going to select your SSID here, which I've done, and then ask the password. So I'm just going to enter my password in. It's a lot easier to enter this in with the remote. So if you have the remote, please utilize that, because it takes a little longer doing it like this way. So I got my password in, and now we want to make sure we remember. We want to remember this so that we don't have to do this every time. Then go down to connect, press the connect, and now it's going to start trying to connect to your network. So you just give that a little moment there. So now we've successfully connected to our network, because now you see our Wi-Fi LED is completely blue, and we see on here our SSID, MAC address, IP address of our camera. So now we're all good to go. So you only need to do this once for the S70W to connect it to your network. And after you do it once, then you can be free of all cables. So this HDMI cable now I can just unplug. So I don't need this anymore. Unplug it, get rid of it. And now you can just rely solely on your wireless piece. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the Android OS, doing so by pressing arrow buttons. So remember, these arrow buttons can be recalled no matter what source you're viewing, whether you're viewing a video from like a desktop or a laptop or a document camera. So I'm going to go home, back to my Android OS, and here I'll go into Sphere2. So it comes preloaded onto every panel. Select Sphere2, and after we go into this, you'll see on the left-hand side, we have our F70W document camera here. You can go ahead and start this thing to save it to your favorite list or remove it. So I would start it and keep it there. You can also rename it. So rename the camera name to your classroom if you have multiple S70Ws. I'm gonna go ahead and select this. It's gonna connect, and now you'll see like a preview of your camera. And it says, all the information here, your firmware version, if you need to update it or not, camera name, and your SSID. And now we're gonna press start. So now we're actually in viewing our document camera, our SMEW. And this is the best piece where I'm completely wireless in the classroom, moving from different desks, showing off different students' work. So I'm not bound by any wires. Completely wireless for at least 8 hours until I need a recharge. So let's just place this and have some example pieces here. So here I got my butterfly. Let's get some other stuff in here. Let me get an ant or something. Let's find some stuff. Here we got a holographic card. And we got one of these. All right, so within Sphere2, it's very similar to our premium whiteboard software that I always go over in all the other webinars. But I'll just kind of go over some of the neat little things you could do in here. The very first top tools is our main toolbar where you'll be spending most of your time. And remember, you can always annotate on our boards either using your fingers or the included styluses. We give you 2 for free. The first one is just like a select tool where you can select different things, any annotations you made basically. This is a pen tool here. So if we want to adjust the pen tool, the thickness of it, I can just tap it and make it a little thicker here and change the color of it. So I'll use like this kind of magenta red to kind of go over this butterfly here slowly and surely. Okay. And this software also reads multi-touch. So if I have 2 users at the same time, I can make multiple strokes like that. Our next one is our little highlighter. So same thing as our pen. If we want to change the type of highlighter, I can change it to yellow and make sure I highlight this butterfly here. So I'm highlighting that. This is a kind of a pointer tool that you can use. It's like a stylus pretty much. And this is our line tool where we can make our super thick lines if you wish, or skinny lines. So I can outline this end right here and make straight lines. And then we got our text to add any additional text we want, as well as adding different shapes, circles, whichever, if we want solid fill or no fill at all, you can use this right here to do stuff like that. And then we have our erase tool where you can erase certain annotations, specific annotations that you want. So I can erase that arrow. Or if I press this broom button, that'll clear all of the, basically clear the whole screen of all my annotations. But next up, over here, is this camera button. If I press and hold this, I can choose if I want to do, a high definition, high quality type of screenshot or a standard screenshot. So I can try doing a high quality, high def. Of course, it takes more size, but it's a very high quality snapshot. And then on the top right here is actually where you can change all the camera controls and visually do zoom in and out without even being next to your document camera. So here I can actually zoom in to this image, and I can pan through it if I want to. I can autofocus it like that. So I can zoom in, zoom out. Then I can even do stuff like rotate the image if I'm backwards or upside down. And if I press on this one on the right-hand side, I can now adjust, the different brightnesses. So I can make it brighter or make it dimmer, or change the contrast or colors of my image. So I can do weird stuff, make it black and white, or like invert it and make it look kind of crazy here. Just some cool little options that we give you in our software. And then a really important piece is this one on the right, this little kind of dial. This actually lets you change the bandwidth and adjust the bandwidth of your document camera. So if you want to conserve bandwidth, you would kind of turn this down for a little lower quality. But if we want to have the highest quality possible, you would make this marker go all the way up to max 4.8 megabits per second. So that's kind of your bandwidth of your document camera. But we want the best quality possible for a wireless document camera, so that's why we leave it high. And it streams at 30 frames per second on a wireless document camera, so you can see how many frames it actually catches with this little Stratus globe here. So even though it's wireless, it looks looks great, and it doesn't really lose any frames, and it's has really good response as well. Some other really important things that we can do here. We can actually set up Google Drive, Dropbox, and OneDrive. So on these screenshots that you've made in the software, you can upload them directly to your Google Drive. So I have my Google Drive set up, and let's go ahead and upload some stuff directly to there. So you want to go to this icon right here on the bottom. This one lets you go to all your screenshots. So this is the screenshot we just made. And I'm going to go ahead and edit, select this one right here. And now I'm going to press this upload button. And I'm going to choose upload to Google Drive. And now I have my Google Drive. I can name this whatever I want. So I can name this, this is a picture from this day, or lesson 1, or this is a lesson on animals or insects. And I can go ahead and press upload, which will then upload this directly to my Google Drive very quickly and very fast. So that's how easy it is to just upload any images directly from our Sphere2 software to your Google Drive. Because I know a lot of classrooms have been using that Google Classroom. And now you can also select the multiple ones and upload them, or edit them, or delete them. You can also press this one here to insert this into the whiteboard. So that snapshot I took, I could put this into the whiteboard if I want. So this software has its own whiteboard as well. So if I press on this toolbar on the bottom, this enters like whiteboard mode, and I can move this around. I can do whatever I want to with it. I can actually delete this if I want to. And these stay the same, the tools on the top. So on the bottom here, this is your visualizer, where you see your document camera. This one is the whiteboard. This one is to see all your snapshots in the gallery that you've taken. And the last one here is actually a classroom, where we use ClassSend to connect other student devices to our software. And once we go home, we're back at this page where you can see and view all the different document cameras that you have connected to your network. And that actually kind of sums up the in-depths of Sphere2, the different things you can do with it, the basic annotations, and how you can upload it directly to your Google Drive. So it's a very neat tool there. If we want to go over our whiteboard software, always kind of go over. This one, you can do many different types of annotations, such as the star here. You can do copy and paste and add new pages to different PDFs. But it's separate from Sphere2, but we have this whiteboard software here as well that we always include and have in our IFP panels. But that pretty much sums up our lesson and our webinar for today. It's a really short one. I hope you guys learned a little bit about our panel and our software. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. This webinar will be recorded and uploaded to our website. And that's it. I hope you guys have a good day and take care.